Good evening, everybody from beautiful Airdrie, Alberta. This is Agape and Akin. We are coming to you live this evening to share with you again as promised.
Good night if you are going to bed. Good morning if you are just waking up. Good afternoon if you are in the other side of the world. That's why I love Australia and New Zealand. They are always ahead.
You want to move there?
Not yet.
Yeah. All right, that's done.
So how is
How's everybody
today
doing?
Today is April 17th. So how is the 18th if you're
in the faraway
in the future?
Yeah, so thank you all for joining us this evening. Yesterday when we were here, we talked about what's it called? We celebrated an achievement of ours, raising leaders in our business. And today we said we're gonna share with you guys on perseverance. So basically, one of the, I would say, qualities or characteristics that anybody who, how will I put it?
Desires to achieve something.
Yes, one of the qualities that they really, really need is perseverance. There's a lot, but I think one of the important ones is perseverance. Because in anything that you do in life, whether in business, in marriage, raising children, starting something new, going to school, you're definitely going to face challenges or difficulties, right? Nothing is going to be rosy. If anybody has told you that, life will always be rosy, I'm sure by now most of us know that you figured it out, right? that is not correct. So one of the qualities that we do need to help us to cross over to the other side and see good success or, be stable in whatever we're doing is perseverance. So what is perseverance? Perseverance is can be defined or is that steadfast persistence. Like sometimes I don't do well with like what's it called, professional definitions or whatever, like dictionary definitions, because it's like, how do I relate that to my life?
Or say all of that because they are big words.
Exactly. But it is the steadfast persistence in achieving a goal despite facing obstacles, difficulties or setbacks along the way. So the steadfast persistence, meaning that no matter what happens, I've set a goal for myself, or I have this dream for myself, or I've had this thought for myself, and I'm thinking, I want to be that person, or I want to change to become that, or I want to achieve this. Once difficulties come your way, or what's it called,
challenges.
or roadblocks or challenges or challenges.
Are you speaking Chinese or Japanese?
I don't know what's wrong with me today. Or challenges come your way, it is that steadfast persistence that helps you to push through and say, you know what, this is temporary. You know what, this is sure to happen, but if I keep my eyes focused on my goal, I will achieve it. Or MJ says nothing good comes easy. Thanks for joining us, MJ. How's it going over on your end?
So when challenges comes, do you fight or do you fly or do you freeze? I know it's a common phrase. Do you fight? Do you freeze or do you fly? Imagine a young man like me a few years ago, all of a sudden, after 20 years in the banking world, the company says, thank you, no thank you, but you can go home now, no benefits. What would you do? With a family of 5, new mortgage, big house, nice car. What will you do? Does that mean, the world is over? That's what I mean by, do you fight? Or do you fly? Or do you freeze? We have different levels of, threshold when it comes to challenges. But can you survive alone? Or you are going to find a small group where you can get support? In our part of the world, there is government support everywhere. Paid, free. Even on YouTube, you can find support. It's that easy to find support.
So one second, what happened there?
IG tried to disappear for a second. Let's try to reconnect.
Yeah. So basically, persistence, right, in the face of adversity is what we're talking about. Now, like we said, resilience is another thing, right? Okay. There you go. Oh. Yeah, resilience, right, is one of those characteristics that helps you to push through. You're like, okay, what is going on? Why am I facing this? It is because you've told yourself that you want to do something outside of your comfort zone. The moment we say we want to push out of our comfort zone, there's going to be resistance.
Yep.
There's going to be resistance. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be things shouting at you and saying, like, for instance, today, I decided that I was going to move from a lower weight to a higher weight in my workout. And the moment I picked up the weight, I was like, no, this is not for me. But you know what? I just immediately remembered that perseverance. I was like, if you want to move from your comfort zone because you've been on this same weight now for a couple weeks, how about you try this? And I lifted it up. I was like, oh my God,
and then you remember that you are doing Go Life about perseverance, and you grabbed it.
Well, at that time I didn't remember, but good for me that I pushed through, because now I can use it for an example, right? Yeah, so I did lift it up, and as soon as I saw it like close to my face, I was like, oh my gosh, I lifted that, right? And then I continued. It was the hardest 20 minutes of my life, but I patted myself on the back. I was like, oh my gosh, you did that. Like you pushed through. Even though the moment you lifted up the weight to say, I'm ready to leave my comfort zone, my arms started to cry out. My brain was like,
everything was going
trying to keep me safe,
And that's the first thing that comes up. The moment you decide on something, your internal configuration starts to keep you safe. Family and friends wants to keep you safe. Oh, I want to start a business. Let me do a fundraising party. Nobody will show up. Or some will show up. But just imagine that. Friends will be like, oh, why are you doing that? Relax. Let's enjoy. My goodness.
But then right? Like that
you
this
really wanted to do that.
Because nobody knows you like you know yourself. I know sometimes it's like, oh, whatever, maybe somebody will say, oh, I know you better than you know yourself. But the truth of the matter is, nobody truly knows what is going on the inside of you. So if you have a thought or a dream or a goal that you've set for yourself, you need to be authentic to yourself and say, I've got to see this thing through. I've got to be able to say to myself, you know what, I did this despite what everybody said, despite I will prove to myself that I have it in me to do this, right?
It's you against you.
Yeah, so
you can do it, and you should do it.
You should, exactly. Now, perseverance also helps continuous growth, like helps you to improve and to grow.
And become a better
person.
And
to become a better person. Because it's like the moment you say, oh, I pushed through, you're no longer the person you were 5 minutes prior to pushing through. And that's, you going back to my example of the weights, the moment I finished my workout and I was like, oh my goodness, at the first second, I didn't think I could do it. But here I am 20 minutes later, I've lifted heavier weights than I did 2 weeks ago up until yesterday. And today I pushed through, I persevered through this difficulty, because let me tell you, it was difficult, but I do know that even the weights that I lifted up until yesterday, I didn't think I could do it before. And if I tell you the pounds, like if I tell you what it weighed, you're going to laugh at me because some people are going to be like, oh, come on, what is that? But the truth of the matter is, for 2 years, I hadn't worked out. And so me even lifting 5-pound weights was like, I'm dying, But here I am. I went from 5 pounds in 2 weeks. I did 8 pounds. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, I know that there are people who lift double, triple, quadruple this, but they're not me. They're not me. And I'm not going to try to prove to anybody that I can do what they're doing, because I don't know where they started from.
Or where they're going.
This is my journey, right? I decided that I wanted to make a change in my life. And I started slowly, 10 minutes a day to make those changes, and then I went from 10 minutes to 15 to 20 and now 45. Then I started lifting weights, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do more than 5 minutes. And then from 5, I went to 10, and then 15. And today I could do 20 minutes of weightlifting, right?
So if you are watching this video and you feel like, oh, well, it's easy for you to say everything is good, everything is rosy. But we used to be there before we decided to take massive action. I mean, massive action when life happens. In the sense that, guess what? We all went to school, graduated, applied for jobs, did the interview, started working, and started counting year 1, year 2, year 15, year 19, year 25, year 30, looking forward to retirement. If you did not want to do that, you would have resigned.
Yeah.
But you had the persistence in you on the days you really want to go to work, or on the days you really want to work on your business, or on the day you didn't want to wake up, get the kids ready and send them to school. But you did that.
You did that. You pushed through.
You pushed through. So that part of the resilience and the persistence is in all of us already.
Yeah.
So that dream that you are looking at every day, every morning in the mirror, why not start today?
Today, yeah. And perseverance also helps in achieving long-term goals. Now, when you're thinking about long-term goals, for me, I like to break them down into bits, because the moment you're like, oh, in 5 years, I want to become like this, it's like, oh, 5 years is a long time. But how about you start to take put one foot in front of the other towards that dream? Because whether you like it or not, whether you take that step or not, the time is going to pass anyway.
Yep.
So whether you like it or not, 5 years is going to come anyway.
It's going to come.
So why not start making little changes, little by little, and then see where you are in 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks, 52 weeks, and so on and so forth, right? Like when we started our business 5 years ago.
Just 5 years ago.
Just 5 years ago.
Just 5 years ago.
I seriously could not see 5 years ahead.
No way.
All I knew was that we were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we wanted to make a change. We wanted to do something drastic that we hadn't ever done before, because we said to ourselves, this corporate thing is not working for us. We've done this for 20 years. Let's try something new. But when we started, we said to ourselves, okay, let's give ourselves a 2-year goal and see where we are in 2 years' time. And then we started to diligently work towards it. Now, you don't just say, oh, let me see where I'll be in 2 years. And if I don't succeed in 2 years, I'm going to quit, or I'm going to say, at least I tried. What are you doing in those 2 years to ensure that you are achieving your goals? It's not just enough to plan for something or to write something down. It is that what are the steps you are taking to ensure that you actually achieve that?
The outcome you want.
The outcome you want. And through all the difficulties, through all the challenges, through all the setbacks, right? You are going to push through no matter what. Because you've promised yourself 2 years. You're like, oh, 2 years is how long I'm going to determine whether this thing is going to be successful or not. Okay, great. That means you can't quit in those 2 years.
No going back.
No going back, because this is the promise you made to yourself. And it is perseverance that will help you to push through, because you're like, listen, I gave myself 2 years. I can't be impatient here. I can't be, I can't go back on my word on myself, because you're not trying to prove this to anybody.
You are going somewhere.
You're going somewhere with yourself, for yourself.
And your family.
And your family.
And your loved ones.
Right? So we wanted to just share that with you, to say, listen, some people have gone that path, and they can tell you that it's not going to be rosy. It's
going to be bumpy, but good at the end of the day.
But fulfilling. Because at the end of the day, you look back and say, oh, I did this for me. I didn't do this for my boss. I didn't do this for my sister. I didn't do this for my parents. I did this for me. Right? And that just brings that sense of fulfillment that, hey, I pushed through. I made a deal with myself. I put my mouth where, no, my word, I don't know. My money where my mouth was. My mouth where my money was. Whatever that saying
You
is,
know,
you all know it.
But the main point is, we all, two key points we want to leave with you is,
Mm.
one, we all have the inner strength.
Yes.
Because if not, you wouldn't have finished, for many, gone to school or start working or start a family or travel around the world. So we have the inner strength.
Yes.
But guess what? Family and friends and the brain configuration who want to keep us in our safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, find a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Follow who know road. Yes.
Yes.
Inner strength, follow who know road, meaning you find a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need one-on-one mentor. You don't need to pay. Find someone on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
So take action.
Yes, we'll leave you guys with that today. And then, we'll be back again sometime tomorrow to share another piece of advice with you guys, things that have helped us in our business and in our life as parents. Once again, for those who are just meeting us for the first time, this is Agape and Akin. We are parents to 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. We live in Airdrie, Alberta, here in Canada. We are digital entrepreneurs, and we help everyday people like ourselves to earn a living online and build a business. So yeah, we hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today, and have a blessed rest of your day.
And
Bye
your night.
now.
Bye.
Bye.